Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, we're going to go through the Forex market outlook. I'm going to go over those currency strengths and weaknesses, and we're going to go over some pairs of interest. So it's not going to be too dissimilar to last week's, to be honest, because last week we were looking at the Kiwi losing some value, and we can see nicely here on the strength and weakness table that the market has started to lose some value, which is great because we are selling Kiwi at the moment, and in particular we are selling it against the Swiss franc, which is gaining strength, which is really good to see as well. So what I want to be doing is continuing to do that going into next week, because the market is setting up quite nicely for it. So Kiwi still really on the agenda for those short opportunities, and I am also looking to buy the US dollar now as well, because like Kiwi last week we were at that +7, so we were looking for the reversal in that strength. The dollar is at -7, and you can see again it's at -7 this week because it remained a little bit weaker last week, and we're looking for that reversal in line with that seasonal pattern that we discussed as well a couple of weeks ago. So I want to be a buyer of the US dollar, or at least looking to potentially buy it. I may not want to dive straight in there and buy it, but maybe buy it against a couple of weaker currencies like Kiwi, for instance, and maybe the Canadian dollar. So to me, dollar is going to start seeing a little bit of strength according to this, potentially, and Kiwi's weakness is going to continue. So looking at those charts in particular, so let's go and take a look at Kiwi dollar first. So Kiwi dollar's really back up at this nice 600-700 area. It's retested this structure, and what I like, if I just go to a weekly time frame and I just zoom right in, I really like the fact that the market is at this resistance level where it happened before, and the market is overbought on the RSI on a weekly time frame. Typically that can lead to some interesting moves, and you can see the last time that happened, the market did fall off quite significantly. I doubt we'll see something like that quite extreme again, but I am anticipating a little bit of a fall, perhaps maybe into these lows once again, around about 6,400. So the way I'd look at this going into next week, if I just go into that 4-hour time frame, is I'd look for a 4-hour change in the trend. At the moment, we don't have that. The market is literally just kind of consolidating in this a little slightly tight range on the 4-hour time frame. So what I'd really want to see is prices break below these lows through here. If we can do that and break and close below those lows, I want to be looking for that pullback continuation move on any kind of Kiwi pair, looking to sell the market in line with that strength and weakness table. Another chart that kind of featured was dollar CAD, and that you could potentially buy the US dollar against the Canadian dollar. So if I just go into the weekly time frame, why would that be feasible? Well, looking at the weekly, really big zone. The market found multiple resistance here and a bit of support through here. This week's candle has closed a bit of a sort of reversal or indecision candle, which does suggest that we could see some upside just through there. Going to that daily time frame, you can see the market starting to bottom out through here like it did over here before. And look at the 4-hour. The 4 hours now changed cycle, because we were pulling down in here, we were getting lower lows and lower highs. Then we've broken that trend and we have a new high formed. So we can see lots of wicks in here as well. If the market can break out again, we have a great level just running through there. So let me just draw that again. Great level just through here where the market found support, resistance. If it takes that out, that'd be a really great level to buy from. So around about that 134.40 area would be good to see the market retest after a breakout before looking for that long opportunity. So that's going to coincide as well with the US dollar index. Obviously the dollar index came into that $93 level, which was an area of interest for me. Daily time frame starting to see some bullishness again. Are we going to rally up towards that $95? If we do, that's going to put pressure on our major currency pairs. So euro will likely pull back, Pound will likely have a slight pullback as well, and Aussie. But my favourites are really New Zealand US dollar and dollar CAD, and that's simply because you can see that weakness against that US dollar that you're wanting to buy. Okay, so the other currencies are obviously gaining strength. So if you're thinking that you should buy a currency, you want to be trading it against the weaker one, because there more likely is going to be a trend forming there. I have a trend based strategy, so I want to wait for that trend to develop. So I'm happy to look for buying opportunities on dollar CAD, selling opportunities on Kiwi US dollar if we get that 4-hour change in trend. Other charts of interest, so obviously pound Kiwi, we want to continue to sell the New Zealand dollar. Looking at the weekly, we had a really good bullish candlestick going into last week. We were anticipating that. Still a little bit of a way to go before it retests that candle as well. So I'll be eagerly watching the 4-hour, see if we do get any kind of pullbacks into any areas of support where I can look to buy it on an intraday basis. So perhaps back into this previous structure high, for instance. Same really goes for Euro Kiwi as well. I want to be a buyer of this market. Daily's looking a little bit vulnerable here. I want to see a bit of a pullback here maybe on the daily time frame, or like I said, I'll keep an eye on that 4-hour, see how that 4-hour trend plays out. At the moment, we're back at these highs, so I can't be a buyer of the market unless it comes and retests this sort of structure here, and we can look to buy the market. But other than that, nothing really going on too much on Euro Kiwi. We're obviously in Kiwi Swiss, which is pretty much the reverse of that, which is moving nicely. I expect full targets to be hit here. I'll be also looking for further add-ins as well. We've already kind of looked at a couple of areas where we could have had an add-in trade. You know, if it does the same again, maybe rallies back up to here and does the same thing, that'll be great. Or a breakout of the lows, that would be a good thing to watch for. But the commitment of traders commercial short position is quite strong, so I'm happy to continue to look for Kiwi short opportunities. So not really much of a change from last week. If I don't trade Aussie Kiwi, but if that's something as well you want to look at this really nice daily trend forming from that. That could also be an area where you look to buy the market. But for me, I'm going to be focusing on that Kiwi US dollar this week, seeing if we can get that breakdown, see if we can get that major pullback, especially on this weekly. Can we see that start to drop? That'd be really good. So watching for a breakout there. Thanks for watching this Forex Market Outlook video. I hope you have a great week trading, and I'll speak to you soon.